Hey YouTube, it's Bea here for Freedom Fighters. Today is the 26th of January 2010 and our topic is, do we have feelings about our feelings? And I'm gonna discuss primary and secondary emotions, feelings. But first I want to I prepared for this. I took notes. I outlined what I'm going to say. First I want to talk about what primary and secondary emotions actually are, because I don't know about you guys, but I was a little confused about it when I first got my topic. So I did some research. And primary emotions are the emotions we feel at first. They're the responsive emotions. Like, for example, if, say, you feel threatened, and then when you feel threatened, you feel fear. Or that's badly worded on my part, sorry. When we are threatened, our primary emotion is fear. And usually primary emotions are unthinking, they're just instinctive, they're like human nature, they're instinctive responses. And they're usually fleeting. They disappear as often, as fast as they appear. Like, they come in 1 second, they can leave the next. Usually they are replaced by our secondary emotions. And these emotions usually complicate things and make them extremely more difficult, as you will all begin to understand what I'm talking about. Now, for secondary emotions, they are obviously after the primary emotion, and they usually are caused directly by the primary emotion. An example would be like when you fear of the threat turns to anger, and that fuels the body for fight reaction. And secondary emotions, they might be more simple feelings, or they might be like a mix of emotions in the fray of all of these wild primary, secondary, blah, 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 emotions. And so the question is, now what? Well, first you have to... Now, what I want to get at is kind of finding the core emotion that you have, which will help you move forward in recovery and obviously your day-to-day moments. So first you want to find the primary emotion, which is the real issue. And I want you guys to don't accept the emotion that you see on the outside at first as the primary emotion, because it's usually like a mask is what the secondary emotion can be. Secondary emotion, when you need to find that, and it gives you a picture of the person's mental processing, kind of, so we got some psychology in this thing, and you need to question yourself to see why you came to this secondary emotion. So I have a question. My question for all my viewers now is, what secondary feelings such as disgust, disappointment, contempt, anger, do you have about what you are feeling right now? Or what you have felt throughout the day, whenever? And I'll give you like my answers for that are, I have lately found myself becoming, this is kind of hard to voice, because I wouldn't say I'm a jealous person. I wouldn't call myself a jealous person. But I do have jealous tendencies, I guess you could say. And that is usually when that happens when I'm threatened, maybe by someone else having a better relationship with a friend than I have or something, or someone quote unquote stealing a friend or a boyfriend or whatever, and I get jealous. That's my instinctive response, to get jealous. And from that, maybe it'll be a few hours later or a few days later, I feel very selfish / ashamed. I have, I guess you can say, recently been told that I'm a selfish person. Selfish person. And I am very aware of that right now because I'm very self-conscious about it. And every time I get jealous, I immediately think of how selfish I'm being. Every time I want to maybe cheat on my meal plan or take a pill or something, I think of how selfish that is of me because my choices affect many people around me, and I find that to be very selfish, that I'm only thinking of myself. Another one that I struggle with on pretty much a daily basis is when I get nervous, and I think this is a pretty common one for those in the same situation as me. When I feel nervous, I tend to feel quote-unquote fat. There's that three-letter word. Nervousness and anxiety, these are usually, I would say, primary emotions. And then that secondary emotion would be kind of self-consciousness of your body, your surroundings, because I am a strict believer in fat is not a feeling. Fat is a cover-up. And that's usually what secondary emotions are. Sure, they're called secondary emotions, but they are a cover-up for what's really going on in many cases. So that's why when I have my note here that says, I don't know if you can see that, jealousy turns to selfishness and nervousness turns to fat. What you need to do to find out what is at the core of your issue or your problem, whatever you're struggling with, is to find that primary emotion, the thing you felt first. And usually this is put into our unconscious. We don't remember. All we're seeing is, for the second example, all we're seeing would be, I'm fat. And that's all I'm feeling. I'm feeling upset because I feel fat. That's not the answer, guys. Don't take that secondary emotion as the answer, because it rarely is. It's never the answer, in fact. You have to dig deep into your core and find out what originally got you upset, and that is what the problem you have to deal with. And that is so closely related to recovery from eating disorders, because so many times we put our secondary emotions as our mask and show that to everyone, including ourselves. Many times we look in the mirror and all we see is that secondary emotion. Either that be fat, uselessness, selfishness. You need to look into deeper to see what's making you feel that way, and then you can move on to the next step in recovery. I hope this video was helpful. This was a very tricky video for me to do because it's one of those things where you can think of it in your head, but it's really hard to put into words, I guess you could say. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next week, hopefully. I'm sorry I did not make a video the past couple of weeks. I've been on retreat and out of town. It's crazy. So everyone, have a great week, no matter when you're watching this, and I love you all. Adios.